Okay, guys, I just wanted to do an update on a couple of details here. Now, one of the things I've been working on is my electronics. Now, I started with this box here. Now, I have stripped more than one e-bike over time, found them in the garbage, brought them home, that sort of thing. This did not come from any of those. I actually found it on the street. But it's the biggest aluminum heatsink box that I had. It was already pre-drilled for, pre-threaded for fitting onto a water bottle holder and designed to fit there in the first place. Um, had a jack that will let me charge right off and wire directly to it to make a charge port for charging batteries, which was handy because I thought I might use that. But when I installed it in the frame, I realized a couple of things. One, the only way it fits is to have this at the bottom of the frame absolutely buried in such a way that you could never get to it. For two, it has rather large holes in it, guys, that when installed will sit right where the tire spits up junk. This end I drilled holes in because of mounting hardware there. And I have it drilled out. I was going to neaten this up after with my Dremel and make them fit perfect, but I'm starting to rethink that plan. And the reason is I also have these, and it hadn't even occurred to me before because I was thinking at some point I might need these controllers. But these are exactly the kind of controllers that we no longer need. So I'm going to show you two here. And originally, what I had was the two dials to adjust your generator and your engine, which I've now replaced with better dials anyway, so I was going to replace those. A voltmeter, an on-off switch, a big dimmer switch, basically. That's a 200 amp dimmer switch that is designed to dim heavy amperage, which is awesome because that's needed for this machine. And that was about it. That's all that's in here. Now, I at the time, I wasn't thinking about making a custom box for the dash and all this stuff. It occurred to me when I found this and realized I had it, I was like, man, I can't believe I still have that. I thought I threw it out, an old controller. But this is the perfect box. Okay, it doesn't give me as much room to work in height-wise, but it gives me more room width-wise, which makes up for that. In addition, it's so much shorter that I can have a proper installation. It also has better cooling fins in it because it's really designed for cooling. And aside from this one having a whole bunch of screw holes in the back, it's a really nice shape for keeping things cool. And because it is, I won't need any airflow holes. It also had this, which gives me a nice waterproof way to spit through all my wires, and I can just glue gun it shut after that. This is kind of a nice setup, guys. So I'm going to use this one, and it's going to be a lot easier because I've got bigger switches now, and the big switches will be here. I've got a high voltage on-off switch that's capable of dealing with really high voltage, so no matter what kind of pack you want to use, this bike will take it, which is why I'm doing it. I want it to be that way for mine. You don't have to. You just have to be good enough to handle the amount of power that you have, and then maybe 20-30% on top of that to give you safe leeway so things aren't running at maximum temperature all the time and whatnot. Maximum current flow tends to build temperature. So then I realized I had this guy, which came off the same e-bike. And again, it had waterproof end caps. I replaced the screws in it, and you can see the little tiny washers under there. Those are rubber washers that were like a boot, and it slips down inside here to go right to the screw hole. So these are actually really waterproof now, doubly. And again, this one actually has an element inside that was originally used for a heat sink on a piece of the electronics that screws in, but I can actually use it to lock in a ground wire. This one's going to go up on top of the bars and will hold my voltage meter, and if there's room, my amp meter, and in between, and there will be room, and in the middle, a light that tells me when I'm drawing off the battery. That way I can see the amps I'm producing, the volts I'm running, which is the actual current voltage on the battery, and monitor voltage drain. This will tell me the amps, not in the battery, but the amps I'm actually producing at the back wheel. And then a light right in the middle, right at the top, will tell me whether or not I'm drawing current through the battery. It'll only be on when the battery's under draw, guys. So, that all being said, this is a superior setup because this can go straight onto the dash and this can go straight into the frame